listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's The Secret Circle After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The Secret Circle After Show.
Good evening, everybody. We are here at the AfterBuzz TV studios doing things the way things always should be done, with Bing.
Oh.
I am your host for the evening, David Schifilliti, and tonight we are talking Secret Circle, episode 16, season 1, titled Lucky, and I'm joined, as always, by my lovely co-host across the table, Billy Nilles.
Hi.
And Jason Gallaher.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back, everybody.
It's been so long.
It's been so long.
I've missed you guys. I feel like it's summer break and we've
I
come
know.
back.
I
and
know,
It's
it
been
was
like,
like,
oh my God, your hair is different.
What's it gonna be like over the real summer?
You got a boob job.
God.
Your
I wish I
nose
went to
is
that high school.
Was that only my high school? Oh, sorry.
Also, I think we should make our own version of the AfterBuzz song
Should
that
we?
can play. I think that would be a big hit.
All right.
So start thinking about it.
Okay.
You start writing it,
Okay.
and then we'll work on it. We'll work on it. We'll have to have a few studio sessions. Anyway, we should jump right in.
Yeah.
Right? It was a
so
really
much.
great episode to come back on after such a long break.
Yeah.
And I feel like so much happened tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and first and foremost, Cassie has a job. I know that we forgot to mention it last time we were here, but Cassie does have a job. She's working in a coffee shop, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
When
they
she
seem-
feels like it.
They
When she
seem to
feels
be
like
really like loving the fact they built that set because there was like 6 scenes in the coffee.
well,
house
I feel like
this
we
week.
used to like have the hangout spot was the Adam's dad's restaurant
or the
Yes.
witch house.
or the witch house, and now it's the coffee shop.
Yeah. Central Perk became available, so they decided they'd use it for.
Right? Oh my God! If only it was Central Park and they could film here in LA and not in Vancouver. I just had to move my seat down. That was fun for me. Sorry. Woo! But most importantly, I think Diana is starting to get a love interest
Yeah.
of her own that isn't part of the circle.
I was really worried too that by the end of the episode there was gonna be some like stupid reveal that he was like
I was totally
like,
expecting him
villainous,
to like
too.
stab her.
Yeah,
and-
absolutely.
or like kidnap her or do something like
Rip some of
dangerous.
her hair out.
That's been like the running theme of the show. Every person they meet is danger for them. So I was really happy when it ended and he was just gonna come back on his boat some other time. And I was like, good, a normal person who can have like an arc and not be killed in a
Is
day.
that what it was? He was like a boater?
He was like that's why he came into the harbor. He was like yachting or sailing or something, because that's what he was going to leave for. From what I could understand. from
I
that
didn't understand
thick
a damn
I
word
had
he
no
said.
clue.
accent was, he was supposed to be leaving at dawn to set sail again. That's what he was saying. He came up from Buenos Aires from Argentina, and he came up and he wanted to go to America, and then he ended up in Chance Harbor.
I just assumed he was flying.
I had no idea how you got any of that. Bro, I had no clue what he was saying the entire time.
I barely caught his name. And I
Grunt.
And I thought what was so weird is that, I mean, aside from the fact that Diana doesn't want to date him because she's like, I don't want to date a normal person. I don't ever want to have to like have that conversation with him later down the road, like awkwardly.
Yeah.
I'm a witch.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
You're mortal. But I thought what was weirder, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, is that he said split eights for blackjack, and then she said something about splitting eights again, except
Doesn't
when the
work
dealer has a
unless the dealer
10.
has a 10.
Yeah.
I don't know about blackjack to know if any of that works at all.
I thought you split aces.
I thought it was aces as well. But
I mean, I know it's completely irrelevant.
This is the one we're gonna
to the
nitpick.
show.
The
Completely irrelevant to the plot
gambling
line.
advice.
But gambling advice when you're giving advice to teenagers is important.
it is. They need to learn
Okay.
life lessons now.
Early on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about blackjack. I just
don't
play the
either,
penny
really.
slots. So
I don't
know.
gamble, so I know nothing so I could be completely wrong. But if you out there in
Anywhere.
internet world would like to give us a call and weigh in, 424-256-1729. Give us your
it.
thoughts.
Let us know how that works.
Yeah. Teach us blackjack.
Yeah.
You know how to play blackjack.
All I know is hit me.
I don't even know that. I thought you were supposed to scratch the table.
You can. You tap for a hit, or you say hit me. Either one. I know that much. You can tap for it too.
Yeah.
But all of that is irrelevant because Diana does, I guess, decide to smooch on him after the evening, after she realizes he's a wealthy entrepreneur. I'm
Yeah,
gonna assume.
the money he dropped was weird.
How much did he drop? Did he
it was
drop like
$500.
$500? And she was like, "This is a lot of chips," and he's like, "It's for a good cause." She's like, "Here's 5 chips."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Well,
Why
I
did she
think
give him the 100 chips?
I think she gave him
was
5
stingy.
like $100 chips.
Right, but why didn't she give him like, you know, if
she's
you're gonna put
conserving
that
chips. She had that tiny box of chips.
I know, but if you're
Yeah.
gonna put that line in, at least have her hand him like the
him a lot
$20
of
chips
chips,
or
yeah.
like the $5 chips. So it looks
Exactly.
like he's getting a
to
lot.
show
Yeah.
that it was a lot of chips.
And
Yeah.
then why would she even have $100 chips in the first place? What high school kid is gonna
I
have
mean,
$100?
larger story. What high school is hosting a casino? This doesn't happen in life ever anywhere.
No,
And like these
a
events,
casino night.
that's number one illegal, completely illegal.
Well, if it's
I mean,
fake money,
but it wasn't. They were betting real money.
they were betting real money.
They were putting real money down for chips, and then they were
Right.
getting stuffed animals in return.
Just kinda
He
awesome.
bet
Yeah.
all his $500, and he got 2 monkeys. There's something wrong at this thing.
2
but-
stuffed monkeys.
But that like.
Not even
just-
good-sized monkeys. They were little.
It was just one
tiny
of those
little
like
things.
TV events that only happens on TV. Like the way
Yeah.
that they transformed that area of the school to have those
Awesome.
chandeliers. I was like, where'd they hang those from?
And the students are all in their 20s. You
And
know,
they're
it's just
serving champagne.
Serving liquor.
Although
Yeah.
I did notice when they showed Melissa talking to what's his name?
Jake.
Jake.
Mm-hmm.
There was like one of the things behind her, like a sign that was supposed to look like a casino sign, and it said mocktails on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think everything was supposed to be like fake
a
booze.
fake.
But then why would they
cocktail?
even need a champagne glass?
Yeah.
And
The
they-
bubbles.
And they made that. But what bubbles if they're serving you a mocktail?
Martinelli's?
I love a good glass of Martinelli's.
There's bubbles in it.
That was just silly.
It looks like champagne.
And then they were all just drinking Kool-Aid. It was like the
Yeah.
brightest blue liquid I've ever seen.
I don't know.
Oh, I love Chance Harbor. I wish I lived there.
Everyone in cyber world can totally tell that we're just a bunch of gays because we're nitpicking how do they plan this party?
Yeah.
Listen.
And you want me to get really nitpicky?
It's important because the person who planned it is clearly Diana. Diana plans all the events
Yeah.
at school, and this is a pretty awesome event for a high school to be having.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie.
What was also, this is like the nitpickiest, and like, because it just screamed like proppy to me when Ethan was giving them all the stuff in those like really small wooden crates that
Yes.
no one on earth would have to carry things in. I was like, that was like so prop house.
They're like apple crates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like why do they have those? That bothered me so much for some
At
reason.
the bar restaurant, nobody knows.
What is he getting delivered? Artisan water?
You never know. It's Chance Harbor.
Ugh, didn't make any sense.
Things happen in Chance
It
Harbor
was
that
just,
don't happen
it
anywhere
was
else.
so
on Earth.
proppy to me that it was driving me nuts.
Let's move on.
Anyway, Diana
That's
got
the entire storyline with Diana.
Diana got a great kiss from a cute guy who's not creepy or dangerous.
Right.
And who isn't coming back next week, most likely. He's going away for a while. He'll be coming back
Unless he decides he doesn't want to
Eventually.
leave.
Unless he
Which
decides
could
he
happen. He's
doesn't
like,
want
the
to
kiss was
leave,
so great. I don't want to go.
or it turns out he's evil.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not convinced yet that there's not some other sort of.
I hope not.
plot
I
twist.
feel like I
Me
want there
too.
to be like some sort of levity to
We
bounce
need, like,
the
a-
craziness off of.
I'm gonna
you
give
know,
a
and balance
Vampire
it.
Diaries reference, but we need like a Matt
Yeah.
from Vampire Diaries who's the only human on the show who's not
Oh.
supernatural. So it's nice to have somebody who's not involved with all the craziness to sort of
Yeah. To just be like a good guy with
Balance.
her and give like a cute storyline compared to everything else that's insane.
Yeah.
Plus from the teaser for next week's episode, a lot of things could be happening in the circle.
Yeah.
Which we will get to in predictions.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, what the hell is it called? We've been gone for a while.
Those things where we guess.
Where we guess
About
what happens next
things.
week. But moving on, Faye's storyline has sort of blossomed into a full-fledged bitch fight.
Yeah.
It's about to be a what?
It's gonna be a war of who can be more evil, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen her going back and forth with like wanting Lee and not wanting Lee and kissing him and being like he's disgusting and Lee leading her on but not leading her on. I mean, I was very confused. His girlfriend finally wakes up in this episode, Eva. We finally get to meet her. She's sort of like Sarah plain and tall
Yeah.
with humongous lips.
Very
And
simple.
I said this when we were watching it, and I just don't understand what age Lee is supposed to be. He's like running this business, but his girlfriend looks like she just got her permit. Like
It's all very
although how long has she
confusing.
been asleep, and why doesn't she have fingernails like out to here? Like what happened in this like
Maybe he clipped
stasis?
them.
Like what was going on? But I'm very confused at how old he's supposed to be because he clearly is not in school.
No, he's not in high school for
No.
sure.
Yeah. It is very confusing. There's another thing they need to talk about.
Well, is he supposed to be more Jake's age? 'Cause Jake is older than all of them as
Yeah,
well.
Who knows?
But Jake isn't technically much older than them because
He was like he's like 3, but they were all born when that happened, and he was like what 3 or 4.
I think he was younger than that. I don't know.
I mean, he could have been that much younger. He wouldn't remember anything because like your memory development is
Yeah.
changes at that point.
And I'm going to say Jake is supposed to be 19, 20.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Lee might be like 24.
I hope he's not 24 because the difference between a 24-year-old and a high schooler is like that should be illegal and it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I didn't even think about that. Ooh.
But I mean, he could be. He could
Could
be
be.
24.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
it's-
he's younger. Maybe he's supposed to be younger. He just developed early.
And he just runs a internet witchcraft store. Like,
Voodoo. Voodoo.
He's a startup entrepreneur right there.
But
Yeah.
Eva waking up finally, despite the fact that we have no idea how any of it transpired. I mean, in this 3-week break, so much clearly happened in Chance Harbor that we didn't see. That Eva woke up, she knows how to talk still, she can walk perfectly fine, all her limbs are working, she's leaving her kitten heels in the living room. And she's kind of a psychopath.
Yeah, it was I was getting like really like Carrie vibes.
Right?
Towards the end, like she was gonna like, and she ended up doing it, like slamming the doors, and I was like, is there gonna be like an electro explosion above them or something? I was getting very much like Stephen King Carrie from
Yes.
her.
Absolutely. I think she's still getting some sort of like after effect from the devil's spirit. I think it's definitely left her deranged because it was supposed to kill her.
But did
And-
she die? Because she said, I came back from the dead for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So I think she might have actually died and he brought her back to life
Yeah.
And he found a
using
way to
Faye.
keep her in some.
using Faye. And then he fell for her, for Faye.
I don't like Lee. This episode really made me just dislike him because
Really?
when he just grabs Eva and kisses her right in front of Faye when Faye's trying to be like, hey, come with me to the thing. Why would he put Faye through that heartache in the first place? Why can't he just do the heartbreak only to Eva? So just break one girl's heart as opposed to 2 at different points in life. He's a jerk.
Well, I think his quote unquote girlfriend has just woken up after who knows how long. And I think he is trying to ease her into reality again because she's been gone for so long. And I think that what he did there was sort of justified.
Okay.
What he did later on with Eva, I think, was uncalled for. But, you know, I don't really trust Lee as far as I could throw him, which is probably not very far because he's really tall.
Yes.
But that might not be a problem because
Anymore.
I think he's dead.
I think he is.
I mean, he
also.
definitely turned green, right?
Yeah. Turned green.
Well, and it was
Or
so funny
black,
because
or
when she said that they were supposed to grow old together, and that's what was gonna happen. I was expecting her to like do some weird like aging. He was gonna like grow a beard or something. I didn't think it would go as far as like corpse on the floor. But I
That's
was like,
what it looked like, yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, there's gonna be some weird effects right now.
Yeah.
She's gonna use her mind to make him like 70, so he can't go anywhere or something, and then it's gonna be
That
like
would be
him like
incredible.
trying to get to Faye as a grandpa and explain who he is, so Faye can reverse it. I kind of wanted that, but that would have been like Bewitched or something really silly.
That would be genius, though. That could technically still happen. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows what's going on with Eva? I'm confused as to her whole storyline because they never really gave us much of
Yeah.
her.
And
Yeah.
especially in the predictions where Eva is still around and she's like going after Faye. Why would she go after Faye any longer if
If Lee's no longer in the picture.
Yeah.
or unless she's just so deranged that she's then gonna blame it on Faye because it's Faye's fault she had to do it. I don't know. That's
Right.
for predictions, but anyway.
Now, was Eva a witch prior to dying, or was she not a witch? I mean, I'm very confused about.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know anything.
We know nothing about her, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden she's like the most powerful witch in Chance Harbor, killing
Right.
people left and right.
or something. If she's not a witch, what I mean, she could be. I'd be interested to see if it's some other form of like supernatural.
Right. Or if because Lee used Faye to bring her back to life, some
If
of
she
her
has some
power
of that,
transferred
yeah.
into her.
That's what I'm thinking. Because he made it seem like she didn't have any sort of power before. Because he was really surprised when she was
Right.
able to shut the door when he was trying to leave. Didn't even say, you have power now or something
Yeah.
like that.
And she said that was a little happy surprise.
Yeah. And so I think it does have something to do with Faye. And maybe the mixture of Faye and the voodoo magic of bringing her back from the dead is making some heavy stuff go down. You know what I mean?
Giving her crazy eyes.
Yeah.
Just ready for some pig's blood.
I was too, actually. But it was a very interesting way to take this storyline, and I was not expecting that.
Yeah, and especially
liked it.
if Lee is really dead, that I wouldn't have expected at all. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
weird. Why even wake her up if you're gonna kill him? Like, why
Yeah.
even go down that road? It's very
Well,
odd.
we need a villain.
I mean, we have plenty of them right now. I feel like.
Well, do we? Because moving on to our major storyline and what drives our show is Cassie and her father coming back and figuring all this stuff out about Ethan, and then the destiny and the curse with Adam. It's just, do we have a villain? I mean, we have the ultimate villain of the witch hunters, but I
Right.
think that is more of like a through line at this point of like all seasons.
yeah,
If you want to think about it like that, that's always something that they're going to have to battle.
Yeah.
And we do need an ultimate
we do.
villain
The-
for the rest
the only
of this
thing that
season.
concerns me is I don't want it to become, and they've sort of done this in the very beginning, where it was like a monster of the week.
Right.
And I feel like that's sort of the road. Like they're gonna have Ava, and then the next week they're gonna defeat her, and then it's gonna be like I'd rather there be something that is like this constant thing that needs to be solved, whether it's for one season and they solve it, but then something else pops up. But I don't really want this show to be almost like a procedural where each week it's witches trying to
Right.
solve something else.
Yeah.
And they've done that a little bit, and that's the only
They have.
And those
They have.
episodes tend to be very boring to me because I'm like, oh, well, I know they're gonna be gone in like 40 minutes.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's true. But the one thing that has kept us going throughout the whole season is what happened 16 years ago or 15 years ago. Although tonight they said 16.
I think it's always been 16
Has it? All right, whatever. However many years ago.
because the kids are 16, they can drive.
That's true. All right. Whatever happened 16 years ago, and each week we sort of more recently have been getting a small insight into what sort of happened. And this week was John Blackwell is back. He's back for good for what we know. at this point, and he's staying in Cassie's life to protect her. But we see him at his old house, I guess, searching for something, and it turns out he's looking for this object called a sway, which, from what the children understood, was something used to take power away from a witch, but was actually used to transfer power with a witch's power to a mortal
Temporarily.
temporarily. Now, I'm not necessarily sure if I trust John as far as needing the sway to
Figure out
who did it,
because he seemed to know by the end.
exactly without it. And I'm sure he did know at that point who to point the finger at. But do you think that he wants the sway to transfer power from his daughter to himself? Because, I mean, technically he is immortal at this point. Because that's sort of where I was going with it. Like,
Yeah.
why would you need it otherwise?
Yeah.
I definitely think that's what he's up to. I don't trust Daddy Blackwell.
I don't either.
Yeah, but he's good. He's good at making.
He is, but when he was searching for that thing in the
was
house,
mad that he could not
was
find it.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So
I think.
I
He's,
I mean,
Yeah.
whether his craziness was sort of propelled out of like fear that someone who shouldn't have it found it again, and that's what freaked him out. That
Okay.
this is back in someone's hands who's gonna hurt somebody else again, which I could see that being a justification down the road to make him be not a villain, and make him be like, I was freaking out because I thought I thought Evan got it again. Evan knows that it exists, and I thought somehow it went back to him.
Ethan?
No, because Evan is the witch hunter.
Oh, Evan's the
who's
witch
looking
hunter.
for them now.
yeah.
So I could see that being used. They've got themselves an opportunity to make him either way and make it make sense either way.
Right.
Whether he's good or bad, it won't be completely like, what, really? To the viewer, because they've sort of left it like that, I think, to where I could believably see him go either way at this point,
Right.
I think.
No, I could as well. I'm just sort of trying to figure out in my head. I mean, Ethan did admit to being on the boat and being the one who transferred power temporarily to Evan all those years ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, it begs you to question what side of the line Ethan really falls on. I mean, I know for years he clearly felt guilty, and that's why he became an alcoholic, and
Right.
now he's like sobering up.
I mean, he did go on to say that he trusted Evan when Evan said he was only going to use it to kill Blackwell, and then
Right.
Evan betrayed him. And I do sort of believe that, because I think that is what would have led to the guilt. Because I think that if Ethan really wanted everyone dead, he wouldn't have been guilty he wouldn't have felt that guilt for 16 years. Because if that's what he wanted, he would have been like, oh great, it happened, it worked.
Yeah.
My plan worked.
But I think it makes sense that there would be that sort of like overwhelming guilt for so long if you were betrayed and all of these people who you thought were going to be safe died because of you. That makes sense for you to be an alcoholic for 16 years.
Yeah.
So I think I believe him.
Yeah.
I think I do believe him at this point.
Okay.
Ethan very much stresses me out because I think he's one of those guys that always has good intentions, but he doesn't think his plan all the way through. And so there's all these other consequences that he's like, oh God, like what do I do now? And then tries to have good intentions and then keeps just messing it up. And so I definitely think he is truthful in saying that he just wanted John Blackwell to die. But he's just going to keep getting in everybody's way. He needs to be smarter, but he just can't, and wishes he was as much of a power player as everybody else.
Yeah.
But he just can't. It's not in him.
Right. But then it also makes you wonder, is he the one who transferred power temporarily to Evan this previous time again? Because he does actually have the crystal.
Yeah.
So technically, he could have done that yet again.
Yeah.
Right.
And put his children's circle
At risk.
at risk one more time.
Yeah. What's also really interesting, away from that, but what Ethan said, that Amelia also wanted John dead. That was really...
Well, you have to think about what we don't know yet. I mean, we do know that there is a second Blackwell child. We don't know why Amelia and John got into a fight. We don't know like what occurred there yet, and we don't know. I mean, it definitely has to do with infidelity, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And if that was the case, she might not necessarily have been acting out of, I don't know where I'm going with this, but acting on her emotions as
Yeah.
opposed to using her brain.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's what Ethan does all the time too, is just acts on
Right.
his emotions as opposed to his brain. And I think, in my mind, I think that his comment that Amelia wanted John Blackwell dead also was just him needing to
get it,
tell
yeah.
himself that
Right.
he's
Doing
so
something
exactly, yeah.
for her.
Yeah, so convinced that they were supposed to be together that he needs to make it okay in his mind that his actions are justified, and even though it's caused a lot of bad, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
And we saw Cassie be like this huge badass tonight and try to prove to her father earlier on in the episode that she can control her magic, and then clearly her dark magic is obviously going to take over. And I mean, I saw that coming. I don't know about you guys,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's this thing always with dark magic being so seductive in any show that ever has a witch.
Yeah.
Whenever they refer to dark magic, it sort of is this thing that no one knows how to control. And
Right.
we saw her tonight sort of lose control and almost
Kill Ethan.
kill him, I think.
That was
Yeah.
a really well done sequence. That was like a
was.
really cool.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. The
A really
bench
cool
flying
sequence.
and like
Yeah.
I loved it. I was really rooting for Cassie. I wanted her to stop Ethan and maybe beat him up a little bit. Not maybe. I wanted him to.
Well, I'm
beat
sure
him
he
up
got
the
hurt. I
corner
mean,
there.
that way that
Yeah.
bench flew at him, that
He,
would have
like,
hurt
went
like
flying.
Toppling over,
yeah.
yeah.
And then she like took that when she had that stake thing, she like threw it at him too.
Yeah.
So he walked away with some bruises, I'm sure.
He
Yeah.
did.
And I loved it. I didn't feel bad for him. I was proud of Cassie. I know I'm not supposed to, but
It was
I'm
just
proud
it was
of her,
just that
too.
kick-ass blazer too.
Yeah.
I wanted that
maroon
blazer. She was
blazer.
rocking
wearing.
it.
This black satin
I loved
lapels.
it. I want it
shawl collar.
very badly.
We'll write a little a note into Entertainment Weekly asking them who makes
Who made
the
that?
blazer, because they respond questions like that.
Yeah.
And then we can have a who wore it better.
Yes. On our show
Yeah.
here at AfterBuzz. But before we wrap everything up about tonight's episode, Cassie, I don't know how to word this. Cassie, after doing everything throughout the whole night and fighting for her father's honor, I guess, has sex with
You can say it.
Adam. It makes me really uncomfortable. It only makes me uncomfortable because I don't believe it. And there's something about what Daddy Blackwell said, that it's written in the stars, it's their destiny, but it's also
it's
a
a
curse,
curse.
that I sort of just, it's uncomfortable, their relationship for me. For some reason, it just doesn't
Yeah.
make sense.
Yeah. Although they that scene was also done very well, and that
It was done beautifully.
I mean, if you pick the right song to like set a scene like that to, it can really like make the music you choose can like make or break something like that.
Yes.
And that Florence and the Machine song they picked like is what sold that scene, because there's
They
just
did
like
seem very passionate.
they
with
seem,
the
but
clothes
the music I think like heightens that, because there's like
Yes.
that like that propulsive beat that's going on in that song that just like you like feel that like
Yeah.
that like rising heartbeat in that moment that those people are feeling. It like it sold that like perfectly.
Absolutely.
So that was why I was into that scene. And then it was like the birds
They were crows.
at the end. It was
They
little
were
Hitchcock
black
coming.
crows.
Yeah.
coming.
If you know anything about like mythology and things like that, birds, black crows, are actually a sign of death.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things that you're supposed to do. Like it's like a superstition, I guess. If you see a black crow, you're always supposed to go the opposite direction. Sort of like a black cat if they cross your
Yeah.
path.
Yeah. But I mean, they were a little preoccupied. They probably didn't notice.
They didn't notice the
Any
black
of the
crows.
crows.
They didn't
I
hear
w-
like the thousands of birds.
Yeah. That's a. Yeah. How about that?
The music was too loud.
Yeah.
The music was too loud.
I
Florence
love.
blocked it out.
Yeah. I love that they ended the episode this way. I know I've complained the past couple episodes that they always have this horrible, tumultuous night, and then somehow they're able to like meet up on the boat and have a date still, or trek through the mountain road and somehow have a nice little rendezvous. But this time I was like, yes, we're getting some witch whoopee. I can't wait.
And it ended very nicely. It wasn't like they wrapped everything in like a neat little package, but it's sort of just. It seems like it's going to flow nicely into next week.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like, I mean, from the preview, we were picking right up the next morning.
Right.
Yeah.
And they didn't leave us like on a big cliffhanger. They just sort of left us with
It was
that
like
moment.
ominous.
Yeah.
It was like a great moment, and then there was just that little bit like, it's not going to be all
Something's
good. And then it
wrong.
ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Loved it.
Okay, on that note, I think we're going to jump to a commercial break and come right back with your news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV. Hi, I was once like you, a lazy, angry loner whose only joy was watching TV and surfing the net. And like you, after I'd see one of my favorite TV shows, I'd be so excited and have so many questions that I'd actually have to talk to my douchebag coworkers about it at the water cooler. Then I discovered AfterBuzzTV.com. AfterBuzz TV produces after-show webcasts and podcasts for TV series of all kinds, like post-game wrap-up shows for all your favorite TV shows. AfterBuzz TV hosts are industry insiders who break down episodes of shows, take calls from fans, and interview cast and crew from each series, with over 60 different after shows, from Boardwalk Empire to American Idol to Vampire Diaries to Real Housewives, and more. Now, after a night of TV, I can ignore my stupid coworkers, who I hate, and go straight to my desk and watch or listen to all my favorite AfterBuzz TV after shows, and have all the TV fan interaction I need. Thank you, AfterBuzz TV.
AfterBuzz TV. What do you want to buzz about? AfterBuzz TV News.
Is Thomas Dekker gay? What? Secret Circle star Thomas Dekker has taken on a wide variety of roles in his relatively long career, from a single dad responsible for the accidental death of his little boy in Angel's Crest, to John Connor in the ill-fated Fox series Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles. Over the years, he's also played several homosexual characters, including gay icon Lance Loud in HBO's Cinema Verite, a bisexual college kid in Greg Arakai's Kaboom, and a boy-loving boy in the comedy Grosse Pointe. It should come as no surprise that this range of roles has sparked interest in his sexuality, which Thomas addressed in a 2011 April 2011. Oh my God. Thomas addressed in an April 2011 interview with Out Magazine. He mused, "I've only really had relationships with women, but I'm certainly not closed to it. If there are possibilities of being able to do anything in life, why would you say you would never take any up? In the later chunk of my teen years, I was so all over the place with sex, it was terrible. I never really had a real relationship at all. During puberty, it's all about sex, and it's all about figuring yourself out. I think I overdid it when I was younger," he said. Ironically enough, he caught flack back in 2007 for leaving Heroes before his character, Claire Bennett's friend Zach, was able to come out.
Yeah.
Showrunner Brian Fuller, who must have swallowed a bitter pill, blamed the disappearance and straightwashing of Zach on Thomas, claiming the actor had had a problem with playing gay. But Thomas said hell to the no, taking to MySpace to set the record straight. He said, quote, "I would like it to be known by everyone that I have played a gay character 3 times before in my career. One when I was 12, one when I was 15, and another when I was 17. What transpired on Heroes is something far more complicated than anyone being afraid to make Zach homosexual. The character that I created in the beginning of the show, a process I take very seriously, was based on Zach being an outcast who had a burning love for Claire, a crush that drew him to her and affected every ounce of his self-esteem around her. I created the character that way because it was written in the original script that he was in love with Claire. Thomas wasn't opposed, just annoyed that the writers were poised to change Zach in a fundamental and seemingly abrupt way. For his role in Kaboom, co-starring Secret Circle Chris Silka, Thomas plays a guy interested in both girls and boys. In the film, he has a steamy dream scene starring a very naked Chris. Of his label-shrieking character, Thomas tells Next Magazine, "It was such an honor to play a role that was neither gay nor straight." So basically, Thomas is just an open-minded and incredibly talented actor.
Perfect. He's a lover.
Whatever.
Good for Thomas.
Good for
Decker.
Thomas. Congratulations, Thomas. I'm glad you're sleeping with everybody. Good for you.
All right, well, moving on. Secret Circle's Chris Zilka dishes on his body issues and being besties with Thomas Decker. Now, bear with me because TV Line wrote the cheesiest article on earth for this. Chris Zilka, man witch, walking six-pack, and self-declared art addict. This bad boy came into our lives just a few months ago as the Secret Circle's resident heartthrob, Jake Armstrong, a character whose subtleness took hours to perfect. I think it's all in the preparation, Chris tells TV Line. My mentor, John Simmons, introduced me to the Stanislavski system, which is so heavy on backstory. So you write and write and write these backstories about a character, and then you throw it away. So then on set, if it doesn't come, then you didn't do your work. I'm pretty addicted to art, so it's easy to just sit there and write. We all have our strange addictions, and TV Line's is Chris Zilka's abs. It took weeks for Chris to bear all in the Secret Circle, and he was a ball of nerves before he stripped down. I got a phone call the day before we filmed that scene. It was just after Christmas. I just got so nervous about having my shirt off. I have like the worst body issues ever, Chris explains while we shake our heads in dismay. Clearly, Chris hasn't looked at himself in a mirror, nor does he appear to have seen the movie Kaboom, where he stars alongside Thomas Decker and wanders around naked. Speaking of Thomas, Adam and Jake's exchanges on the Secret Circle have been pretty snarky lately. Is it weird for Chris to fake argue with his best friend? Chris explains, Jake can't always win and Adam can't always win. We try to keep it even. Thomas and I constantly get together and we're like, all right, well, if you win this exchange, I'll win this one. And we're best friends, so it's never an argument. It's usually me saying, no, you win, and he saying, no, you win. All right, cool, we'll both win. Ugh. In other news, Chris is ready. That's just ridiculous.
Just finish it.
In other news, Chris is ready to shed some light on our favorite Secret Circle love triangle, cake versus fake. There's something about Cassie that Jake can't get over, Chris says. She accepted him right away when everyone was judging him. And then the thing with Faye is they've known each other forever and they get each other. And even though they tease each other a lot, there's no nonsense between them. Oh, I'm glad we have cake and fake as couple.
Oh, God.
That was some real imaginative work.
Yeah, Thomas and Jake are just such a happy couple, too, it sounds like. All right, Phoebe Tonkin dyes her hair pink. The fab Aussie. Oh, sorry. David's really excited.
I'm so excited about the pink hair.
The fab Aussie Phoebe Tonkin, who we all know plays Faye, can do no wrong in our book, and her latest hair move is no different. Following in the footsteps of Katy Perry and Nicki Minaj, the Secret Circle star dyed her hair pink over the weekend, and she tweeted the results. Though she kept the new tint to the bottom half of her locks, it still looks okay. We wonder what the producers of TSC think of Phoebe's new do. We don't think they're quite done filming for the season. So maybe Faye will show up on screen with a pink-hued hairstyle in the last couple episodes. Sort of like The Craft.
Oh. I don't remember that.
I love Firuza Balk.
Firuza Balk.
I love that movie, but
I don't remember
its
pink hair.
She definitely...
They changed
I think
the
she
hair
does like
color.
blue. Firuza. But I saw the tweet of Phoebe.
As did I.
When she tweeted it, and I just wish it had been like shocking pink, and it would have looked a lot better.
Well, I think her hair was wet when she took the picture.
Yeah.
So it probably was a little
like
bit more
duller.
dull, and it was like sort of like her natural hair color ombre'd into pink, which is not a very attractive look, I don't think, personally.
Yeah.
I don't like ombre in hair is a good idea.
Well,
Keep it to your fabric.
and the Secret Circle is coming to California. WonderCon will screen Season 1, Episode 17, Cursed. Britt Robertson and Phoebe Tonkin promote the Secret Circle at the CW's 2011 Upfronts. Can you tell who plays the Good Witch and who plays the Bad Witch? This is old news. Good news, fangirls. An advanced screener of The Secret Circle is coming to WonderCon. This comic and pop culture convention is one of the world's best, so it's quite an honor that The Secret Circle was put on the agenda. The West Coast really must be the best coast because WonderCon takes place from March 16th to 18th in Anaheim, California. And the Secret Circle screening of Season 1, Episode 17, Curse, airs from 4 to 5:30 on opening day. So run, don't walk if you're in town to catch this next week's episode tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you're in the area.
From 4 to 5:30, they must be doing a Q&A.
They must be doing a Q&A. To get tickets,
that.
I think you can log on to wondercon.com.
Probably.
I have no idea. Just Google it.
If you're in Anaheim and you
If you're in
want-
Anaheim, Google it. And that's your AfterBuzz TV news and gossip for the week of March 15th, 2012.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. We got some. Oh my God, I forgot to mention that Adam said I love you to Cassie before they did it. Anyway,
Yeah.
neither here nor
That was
there.
fast for me.
Yeah, he really rushes into that.
Oh, well, they were like kissing out in public. They're like hardcore dating.
But I love you.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
I've kissed.
There's
people
dating
that I
and
did
then there's
not
I
have
love
before.
you.
I know.
Yeah.
They're teenagers. It's fine. Next week, and this is what happens when you tell someone I love you too soon and then you have sex with them too soon.
There's 100 dead birds on
There's
the ground.
100 dead birds in your front lawn.
Yep.
Yep.
And we see Cassie asking her father, "Oh, did my dark magic do this?" And he's like, "No, you and Adam did this."
He knows.
He knows that they had sex. I mean, how awkward is
Yeah,
that?
you have there's like an advertisement every time you get some.
There's
That
proof.
would be.
Something dies every time you.
Well, do you think that's what it is? or
That's
do
what
you-
he says. I heard him say that when you come together, something has to die. That's why someone is going to die. It has to do with them.
Oh,
I
someone
could
in the
hear John
circle is
saying
going to
that
die.
in the preview.
Interesting.
That is the worst form of chastity belt I've ever heard.
Well, for them, for the two of them.
Yeah.
That's their
So who
curse.
do you think is dying in the circle? If someone's going to die.
I don't think anyone actually will.
Really?
I don't think anyone will.
Okay.
I really hope someone does, and I know that's awful. I don't want it to be Faye because she is my favorite, but anyone else could die and I'll be fine.
Okay, here's what I'm going to predict. Because Eva has a part of Faye in her, because Faye helped bring her back to life, Eva will be the one to die. And that's why they're saying someone in the circle.
Oh,
Okay.
Either that or it's Melissa.
all those little teases.
Poor Melissa.
No, although today she was pretty like headstrong. She
Yeah,
was kind
she
of
was
girl
like,
power,
you know,
Melissa.
She was like, get it, girl.
Yeah.
She was, but it was sort of one of those things where those characters don't exist to do anything on their own. They just exist to tell you what to do and help
Totally.
you figure something out. And that's
Totally.
all
She had
did.
no storyline. That's why we didn't talk about her. She was just
Yeah.
involved in other people's like pushing.
Yeah.
She's like a penis pusher, basically, to Faye
she's
and
just-
Diana.
She really is a secondary character. She's just
Yeah.
there to comment on your situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that's a shame.
it is a shame.
Poor
Oh
Mel.
well.
All
I think
right.
that's everything. Nothing else really.
No.
Okay. Well, from everyone here at the AfterBuzz TV studios, we're gonna have to say goodnight until next week.
Yeah.
Next week.
Thank you for tuning in.
Bye.
Good night.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.